Good morning, guys, and welcome to episode 2 of the Rod Knocked 2019 STI rebuild. Today we are pulling this engine all the way out. We got it super close last night. All we need is a replacement cylinder for our jack, which is on the way. Engine can come out and we can start the teardown process. We just got the engine out of the car. I was hoping there was a nice clutch in here. This thing was making pretty decent power beforehand. And lo and behold, it was an OEM clutch, which is a little disappointing. It's tempting to throw it back in, but I know I probably shouldn't, even though it's in really, really good condition. I just don't think it's gonna hold up to the power we're trying to get out of this thing. So I'll have to decide what we're gonna do there. In the meantime, let's go ahead and tear this thing down. Pop off the manifold, the turbo, and then we're gonna move on to timing components, start pulling off the heads, and then last but not least, dive into the bottom end and see what went wrong. Now, my friends, we are to a difficult part if you do not have the right tool. And thank you to our good friends over at Company 23. It's actually a few months back, and I feel so bad for taking so long to build another Subaru motor, but they hooked us up fat with all of their tools. So let's run through what we got. And what I mean when I say we're to a difficult part, trying to pull the cam gear bolts out without the proper tools is very difficult. So we have an EJ rear main seal installer, cam seal installer, exhaust port cover kit. That's very, very nice for like cleaning engines and whatnot. Flywheel locker, ooh, game changer. Intake port cover kit, cam lock. And here are the goodies. Crank pulley tool, AVCS exhaust cam sprocket holder, and AVCS intake cam sprocket holder tool. All of these tools from Company 23 are going to be super, super handy when building all of these blown up Subaru motors that we keep getting. So I'm very stoked for that. Big thank you to Company 23 for sending these out. I'll have them linked down below. They did just come out with a new engine stand as well, which I think you can just mount one case on there and build a whole entire engine off of just that stand. You don't have to put it on a table like we're gonna have to do here in a minute to disassemble the bottom end. So that is super nice. I need to pick one of those up. But nonetheless, all these tools are gonna be super handy for today. Y'all see that? You see how easy that was? These things are freaking handy. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm gonna put them all because there's quite a bit. All right, we gotta just pop the cam gears off, timing covers come off, valve covers, and then heads. I'm hoping the heads are in good condition. That is a lot more expensive. I mean, it's an STI, so everything's kind of expensive, but if the heads are shot, this is gonna be very expensive. I think they should be fine, provided this thing wasn't driven for too long with a bunch of copper traveling through the oil. driver's side head is removed. There was no scoring in cam journals, which is what I was worried about. The valves look fine. Everything looks beautiful with it. Let's go ahead and pop the passenger head. Head number 2 is off. Thankfully, both heads are perfect. Just a quick resurface and they'll be ready to go. All right, what do we got to do left before we put this thing on the engine or on our table? Pop off oil pump, water pump, oil cooler, some engine mounts. I'm gonna do the pan and all that good stuff as well, which that'll be exciting to see how much copper's in there. And then we could go ahead and split the cases. All right, let's tear this thing apart. So it's on the table. The first thing we're gonna do is remove the pistons. We gotta pop that plug off, that guy there, and then this one here, there's also a cap underneath that. And then we can get to the wrist pin circlips. As long as the wrist pins are out connecting the rod to the piston, we are good to split the cases. Split the cases, we have all of the case bolts here. And if you look down in there, we got some case bolts in there, and then we can see how bad this thing is. I'm predicting, based off the insane amount of material I'm seeing, I'm gonna guess 2 spun rods. That's what I'm guessing. 2 spun bearings. I guess we'll see how far I'm off. All right, so far all the main bearings are fine. Ooh, nice and floppy there. That one's tight. Well, I was wrong. There's only one spun bearing, cylinder number 4, believe it or not. This did also have the cylinder 4 cooling mod before anyone comments about that. It did indeed have the cylinder 4 cooling mod, which I've actually never ran before. This car already had it. 1 rod or 4 rods, the rebuild process is the same amount of money. It's the same procedure, same process. It does need a new crank. The cases are fine. Of course, the rod that the bearing spun on is shot. All the oiling system components are shot. So the oil pump, the baffle, the pan, the pickup, anything to do with oil needs to be replaced. Great fun. Absolutely love tearing down motors, and I've done like 20 EJs now, so it's pretty simple. Not nearly as simple as an inline 4, but they are pretty easy once you've done it a few times. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up today's video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you boys in the next one.